Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Come on, a little louder. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, great. Last time I spoke here, we're talking about if you guys have a plan, and today I'm gonna touch upon, as far as tips on how to get your plan going. I'm gonna share with you some personal stories as far as what I've done throughout my life in terms as far as having a plan and not having a plan. In 2003, I used to work for a retail store, and we were the top salespeople, and they decided to get rid of the top people. Why? Because they figured that they could save the commissions. They figured that they could actually make more money. At that point, in 2003, I didn't have a plan. Guess what? We didn't know what to do. Luckily, we actually got hired by another company here in town, and basically everything smoothed out. And you ask, why do I actually say this? Because it was luck. In 2007, when I got into real estate market, I was with Juan, the market crashed. We were basically like a doom and gloom. You remember that, Liz, right? It was December. We had about, I had about 15 listings. Juan had a lot, 30, 40. And he's like, man, what are we going to do? So we went to the Mike Ferry one-on-one retreat. And I remember that day, we were sitting in our in the room. He's like, look, it's simple. We're going to basically get a plan. We're going to figure it out. And you're going to basically do this and this and this and this, and you're going to push through. And we talked about it in terms as far as, all right, what is it that we need to do? He goes, I'm going to list a lot of properties. What you're going to do is you're going to take a lot of buyers. You're going to follow a schedule. You're going to have a good mindset. And then from there, we came back and we shifted everything. Pretty much, I had to shift my mindset. I went from a listing agent to a buyer's agent. And you ask why? Well, because the market indicated that. Meaning that there was no sellable listings. There was no regular sellers out there. The REO market had basically taken over. Back in 2006, we had more sellers than we could handle. We had 26,000 listings available. In 2008, what happened is that the REO market took over. Our prices went from $350,000 down to $120,000. So our checks actually went in half. You remember that, Dennis? So we got a plan together. We basically put this script together. It's called Potential Buyer Script. And this script right here helped me. I did 70 buyer deals that year, meaning that I actually handled 70 buyers. For those of you who handle buyers, let me tell you, 70 buyers a year is a lot of buyers. And let me tell you this, when we were making offers, we were making 15, 20 offers just to get one deal accepted, right? So from there, we would have meetings. We would sit down. How many buyers do you have? Who's going to go down? What's their motivation? But guess what? No one came to our office, or we would never actually open a door without us qualifying the buyer. 100%. So for those of you out there right now showing houses, make sure that you qualify the buyer. Make sure you're out there knowing what you have in your hands. This right here is pretty simple. But let me ask you this. If I was committed to do all the work necessary to find the right home with the right features and benefits, will you commit to working with me? That question itself, you're telling that buyer, listen, I'm going to do everything possible to get you that house, but are you committed? Are you 100% approved? Are you going to do everything necessary that I'm asking of you? Because at that time, you had to tell the buyers, look, you have to make an offer 10, 15,000 above in order to get accepted. From there, we talked about goals. We talked about what is it going to take for you to actually make so much money. Meaning that we were used to making $7,500 to $8,000 per paycheck, and our checks went down to what? $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 if we were lucky. So you think about the lifestyle you have here, where you're making a lot of money, cut that by half. So what do you have to do? Work harder, work smarter, right? But we had a plan in place, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is share some tips on how to improve your plan, how to improve the plan that you guys want. In terms as far as the money you guys want to make, excuse me. What I'm going to ask is actually write these 9 points, okay? Number 1 is you have to write it down. Just like you guys are writing it down, you have to write down your point. You have to write down how many listings do you want? How many listings is it going to take for you guys to get so many escrows, all right? Number 2, how many buyers do you guys want? How many buyers you want to work with? You want to work with 2 buyers? You want to work with 8 buyers, all right? And how much income are you going to make? Or what is it you actually want to make, okay? Very important. If you write that down, guess what? That's going to change everything because you're going to be expected to make that money, all right? If you're out here saying, well, I'm going to make, 6 figures, but you don't have a plan, guess what? It's not going to happen for you. All right? From there, you have to see how many escrows you're going to have to handle in order to get so much money. Number 2, you have to visualize that dream. Okay? Imagine that you're already doing big business. You have to think it out. Every morning, you have to say, I already have so many listings. I'm working for it. And you actually have to act like you're doing that business. And you have to act in here like you're an executive. Juan says that all the time. We're just hanging our license here, but guess what? You're your own executive. If you want to make the money, you have to act like your own CEO. Number 3, accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable to your family, to your coworkers, to your broker, to everybody, right? You have to be open to criticism. Every morning we come here to role play, guess what? It's feedback. Hey, you're not saying this. You need to slow down. I get that every day. I challenge myself. I actually role play with so many people here in the office. I try not to pick the same person. Guess why? Guess what? Because they tell me, hey, you're saying this wrong. You need to slow down. You have to be open to criticism. Number 4, show up mentally and physically. That is a key point here in this real estate. If you don't show up mentally, physically, guess what? You're just here wandering off as far as in the wind, okay? And we don't like that. We want to make sure that everybody here has a goal, and understands where they're going. Mentally show up. Number 5, you have to have a 90-day business cycle. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. All right? If you have a 90-day business cycle, you know what you're going to get paid. Mike Ferry always says, in this business, it's 90 days for you to get paid. Start today. Whatever you're cultivating today, you're going to get paid in the next 90 days. You take a listing today, guess what? It may take 30 days to actually get a contract. It may take 45 days to sell it. All right? So what you have to do is get a 90-day cycle. Okay? Number 6, forget past failures. If something happens as far as in the industry or one of your deals falls apart, forget about it. All right? I know I've had many houses unappraised, sellers pulling the house off the market, buyer doesn't qualify. All right? The home inspection is bad. All right? Forget about that. Once that's done, you bury that and you move forward. All right? 7, surround yourself with positive people. You have to surround yourself with positive people. If you don't surround yourself with positive people, guess what? You're not going to be elevated. You have to get people that are actually helping you think big. People that are actually big thinkers. I know Juan's a big thinker. You know, find people here in the office, and you'll be surprised what they're thinking, you know, as far as what they want to do. You have to find those key people to help your business grow. Number 8, be tenacious. You have to be tenacious. Every day you have to come in here like if it's your last day as far as working. All right? You have to dream about it and be about it. Meaning that's when you step here in his office, you have to be 100% as far as your business. And number 9, there's no magic answers. Mike Ferry says that all the time. People go in there thinking they're going to go to a seminar, they're going to get the secret formula on how to be a millionaire, how to do a lot of big business. But guess what? There's no magic answers. Hard work, more money. All right? In this office, it's time to roll your sleeves up and get to work. All right? So, in the end, Juan actually has a plan for you guys. He has a plan for you guys to succeed at a high level. I see him every day. He actually uplifts everybody. He's like, Maha, you can do it. All right? Yeah. Everybody that comes in here, he's actually very positive. All right? He gives you that attention. If you actually want to ask him about business, guess what? He'll take a couple minutes and actually share what he's doing. All right? In terms as far as other brokerage doing that, I just don't know if there's any broker that actually is willing to do that. We have sales meeting here every Tuesday where we actually get here to help elevate each other.